discussion on the insurance topic that will be shared with us in just a few moments. Do I have a motion to accept
So
the
moved.
agenda with that? Okay, is there a second? I'll second that. All in favor? Aye. I guess it would be good to do the invocation, Bob.
Lord, as we meet here, we are always mindful of the wisdom that you have from above. And Lord, we always petition you for a measure of that wisdom so that we can do things that are of benefit for this county, that we will look out for the welfare of the citizens. We're always mindful of your omnipotence and the things that you do around us. We're so richly blessed in this country, and we're so grateful for it. Help us to put aside all things that are of this world and concentrate wholly upon this work here so that we can do the best job that we can for these citizens. We ask this in your Son's name, Jesus Christ.
Thank you. All right, let's get a motion on the approval of the minutes.
So moved.
Second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Payment report for July and August.
Thank you. Sorry, is that supposed to be on? Are we supposed to be recording this?
I've got that one
You
going.
got this.
Well,
You got this one, please.
I didn't know you didn't push the buttons either.
I know that by the nature of their job, the correction officers would be on here several times, so it seems like an inordinate. Is it that about normal?
Yeah, I mean, we just had a couple that have had several treatments, whether it be, we had one that had surgery, they have several, visits of physical therapy, so that's why it shows up multiple times down the sheet. They just had several payments.
And I guess one other question on my part, is there any other special explanation about teacher assistant? Looks like there are about 5 payments.
No, that's just one of the ones that we have, or those two. They have lifetime open medicals, so if they ever, doesn't matter, they can go as much or as little as they want. We've got to pay for it.
Do we need to approve it? All right, let's have a motion on payment
Okay,
report.
so moved.
Second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, old business. Old business. None. All right, we'll go to new business. Any new business other than our insurance?
We've got one claim
One
that we need
claim.
to discuss.
Okay.
We had a highway department was involved in a motor vehicle accident, and one of our employees was the passenger. He was injured in the accident, had a fractured hip and fractured knee. So he got an impairment rating for both body parts because he had surgery on both body parts. And the settlement would come up to $28,664.06, which is above Mr. Sidler's approval. Do we need to go into detail about how it occurred?
I'll entertain it as
Okay.
detailed as they'd like.
Okay, well, in this situation, we were not at fault in the accident, but he immediately went to the hospital, had to be admitted, so we covered it as an occupational injury with the under the understanding that we would subrogate against the insurance company. Well, since his injuries were so severe, it exceeded the threshold of the insurance company's coverage. So we've paid over $200,000 on this claim, and we're not gonna be able to recover very much, but we're gonna try to recover what we can. But $28,000 for the employees for his impairment ratings.
This subrogation issue they were trying to use as leverage to get the county to settle. We said absolutely not. We want our subrogation rights. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Kim, that we're going to have to pay this amount anyway, but we're able to do it now in a fashion to where we get some sort of release, and this puts it to bed. So it would be my recommendation that we go ahead and do it since it's going to happen anyway.
Okay. And this was our employee in our vehicle on official county business.
Yes.
Yes,
they were
sir.
on their way to a site.
Now, is this 28,000 one time or per
One time.
year?
No,
Okay.
this is it. This would close it out for us completely, and then we would be able to go back and, from the insurance company, get the portion that we can get.
Do you want to make a motion, Bob, or not?
Make a motion to go ahead and accept it.
All right. I'll second that. All in favor signify by saying aye. Aye, opposed, like sign. And now, okay, insurance now. Let's talk insurance for just a few minutes.
It's okay if I sit.
Hmm?
Very good. So it came to my attention during the benefits board meeting, when we were talking to our consultants there, that we used to have we have another product with them that is the reinsurance piece of our county insurance on our buildings. And so there appears to be no committee oversight on that piece. And so, Kim maybe can address how we used to do it in the past. We had, or maybe one of you can speak to that we used to have a board that had these pieces together. And is there another piece of our business that's similar? You're looking at the liabilities piece. Bob and I are on the committee for the benefits piece. We have the reinsurance piece that doesn't currently have oversight. Is there any more of these pieces of insurance
I
business?
don't know that.
So I just want to bring it to your attention that we need some oversight over here, and perhaps we should consider putting all three of these pieces together in one committee. And that's what I wanted to talk about. I wanted to bring that to your table and see what everybody thought.
You know, I'll just speak to it to this extent, and then anyone that wants to throw in any comments, but we were sort of all together at the very beginning, and I was there on the school side when we formed this thing and met and signed papers and did everything up until several years ago. And actually, we had a county commissioner who had sort of gotten their feelings hurt that they didn't get on a particular committee, which never bothered me, but it bothered this person quite a bit. And even though I enjoyed being on the insurance board and was there forever, I gave them my spot on the SIB board. And but we were all together. There were subgroups of the main board, and one would adjourn, the other one would proceed to do their business at the table at a particular time. To me, it appeared just to be more efficient to have all of your, when you talk insurance, to have it all together in one
Looks to me
pocket.
too.
Than have it broken up and you don't know what one or the other is doing at any time. But I'll just throw it open for any discussion that anyone has about the pros and cons of that.
Well, to me, these are like businesses. I mean, yes, you have buildings, but you also have the personnel, but it's all insurance. We have these claims right here, which again goes back to insurance too, but it would be kind of nice to, I mean, us three are on two of the boards, so I think that it'd be a good idea myself, just all three of us be.
And then
on one
I'd like
board.
to entertain another piece of this. I don't quite understand how we make these decisions and they never go before the full commission. It's a lot of money that we make decisions about. Our decisions are not as large as the amounts of money that are in these fund balances. And I don't quite understand why the rest of the commission does not understand, or not understand, but does not vote on these decisions. This is something that we just do, and it doesn't move on up.
Are
Am I
you
getting it
talking
right?
Are you
about?
talking about the settlement?
No, I'm
Are
talking
you
about
using
the.
that as an example, the settlement?
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking
No,
about?
I'm talking about like our SIB board. We make benefit decisions. We oversee a very large fund balance as far as our benefits are coming in and out. But the other commissioners are not involved in it. I mean, it's running just fine. I have no concerns about it at all. I'm just wondering about legislatively how that works.
I think, Terry, when this was originally set up, it was set up as a trust that operated as such. In other words, a trust independently operated as a entity, a government that was self-sufficient. But I'm open to anything along those lines, but sometimes when you're dealing with this much money, this much responsibility, it's sometimes best to just let a trust take care of the major decisions and the trust be voted on by the bigger body, the county
And
commission.
I'm fine with that. I mean, it's a lot easier not having to explain to everyone.
Yeah.
And I understand that. I'm just saying, are we good?
But you could graduate it like this one. I mean, it's graduated in that I've got authority up to 25, the committee's got authority up to 50, and everything else goes to commission.
And I don't know how it is structured.
I don't know what the amount was, Kim, but there was a certain amount that we reached that would
Do you know,
have to
Megan?
be
Well,
settled by the commission. and
That's it, anything over
because
50.
Is that what it's been all
Y'all-
the time?
Yes, well, I mean, I think the law director used to be 10, but they graduated that up to 25, and now
Yeah.
but the commissions or the committees was always 50.
Yeah, because
And
I've
anything
sat
over
in a
50.
ton of those things
Yeah.
before, so we could set that limit anywhere
So
we
what is
wanted.
it now? If we just did 28?
Your limit is 50.
We don't
Oh,
have to, we don't
After
have to go to the
25.
commission.
Yeah.
Okay.
Because you
Okay,
are.
so anything
ratified.
over 50?
Over
Okay.
50 goes to the county commission.
Okay.
That's the way it's set up currently.
So does that seem all right with you?
That sounds
Terry?
good. I just didn't know what the structure was, if there was a structure in place. I was just bringing it up for a
Well,
discussion.
the way it was originally set up, it was set up like that with a trust with some bumper rails there, for instance, like this, that would have to go to the commission. And then too, if they got displeased, if you did do a trust and they got displeased with how it was functioning, you could always roll people off and roll other commissioners on, so the bigger body still had some leverage and control of the committee.
Do we have a written policy
I'm not
with
sure.
this? Because I like written policies.
A written policy as far as the trust or
As far as
how
the
it-
limits or
limits?
these things that you're discussing.
It's in a resolution.
Oh, okay, that would be,
I've got a copy of the resolution upstairs.
that's all I was just,
Well, and so I guess I would have dated back to probably the very beginning.
Well, it was updated when
Along the
they
way.
increased the increments to 25.
The main thing that, when Terry and I was, when we were talking, that I fully agreed with, was that it would, our whole insurance package with the county, looking at liability and benefits and everything else, everything would be so much better if it was efficiently in one group.
How would we go about putting these pieces back together?
I think it would have to go through legislative, wouldn't you say, and vote on by the commission.
If that's what the vote out of this committee becomes to push it over, that's not a problem.
Everything we had to do before had to do with, we had to get the Board of Education to agree along with us, but now that we're in this thing ourselves, I mean, it would just be our body that would agree or not agree to it.
Would we have to vote in SIB too?
I think it would just start in legislation. I mean, I don't think it's this board's decision. I think that legislation could just.
I'm not
bring
saying it is, but to table it to legislative for consolidation.
Exactly.
Because like Bob just pointed out, you need the other committees that you're talking about all to get their end steered there too. Then it's in one place, you all discuss it. If that's your decision, it moves to commission and we do a resolution.
And with the other board, although we're not meeting officially, Bob and I are the other committee with the mayor. So,
Just
yeah,
For the purposes of making sure we've
we'll need to do it in our next
tracked
meeting.
it properly.
Our next meeting, I think we meet every 2 months. So we will not meet again for 6 to 8 weeks.
Unless you do a special
Been that
called
long?
meeting to do
It's
that.
already been longer than
I think, it seems like we were just, okay. So you're suggesting legally that we have if we want to move this along, we call a special call so that we can, at the SIB, discuss this topic there also. And,
Well, actually, let me ask you this, and this may make it more quickly done than that. If this board asks that it be put on legislative for consideration officially, we could move it along just as fast, couldn't we?
yeah,
I'm not saying it couldn't result in hitting legislative. I'm just trying, with the whole open records things we're dealing with at the current moment, I'm trying to make sure it's open all the way. That
Okay.
both of them met here at legislative and it went on and became this new beast.
Then I would entertain a motion, Bob, that we're not making a decision as such, that we would just recommend to legislative at their appropriate meeting to look at this and discuss this as a possibility.
and well, what about also pulling that piece that has no oversight? How are we gonna do that?
Well, I think when we hit legislative and talk about it and
Just
start
do it.
putting things in place, we just say, look, we need to look at everything in the county that is insurance related and just put it in one pocket.
Okay.
You
So
want-
moved.
All right, now second that. All in favor, say aye. Okay, so we're going to, and you might want to be there, Terry, at that legislative meeting, whenever this is on the agenda. It won't be this month, I'm sure, but you need to be there to tell them the background information that you brought to us, and then we
Not a
can
problem.
share too.
no
I
problem.
think that's a very good idea and appreciate you.
It was our consultant, Bob Shoup,
Okay.
and he was the one that started educating me on the reinsurance piece.
Mhm.
And that was when I determined that there was no oversight. So,
Okay.
if he hadn't have explained it,
And there may be pieces out there that we don't even know about.
it's possible when we get that resolution, could you send us, Kim, that, if you find that resolution, that it might have some key pieces in it?
Yeah, I'll send you what I got.
Or if there's a resolution that broke these pieces up to start with, we might need to undo that
Well,
one.
it was initially set up in insurance, employee insurance, and a casualty insurance board.
But
And then when
they
they
were-
readdressed it, they developed the SIB and then broke it off into the employee benefits and the liability,
And it has,
liability claims committee. So that was, I don't remember what year that was.
I'll
but
be
that's
glad
when
to
it was
look
done.
at those pieces to make sure that we have them all when we go to legislation,
If you want to see them, that's fine, but any resolution we passed, by default, we always have language in there that kills any prior resolution.
No, I just wanna see if they mentioned any additional pieces.
Oh, any additional, like
Yeah, that we're
boards
not
or
thinking
committees
about.
or
Yeah,
something?
yeah, I just don't know what, I don't know what I don't know. I don't know what that was all about, and the
So
reason, I
you're
mean, there
wanting the
could be.
resolution to split all this up?
Yeah, because maybe there's a reason in there that we just don't know about, and that was a really good reason. Just to know the background about why it was split up before we put it back together.
I have the book that originally set the whole self-insurance fund in motion.
Yeah, that would be,
That
it would
was
be good to understand the
1988,
background before we
1988.
touch it, I think.
I'm trying to, not that this has anything to do with anything at this point, but I'm trying to think of the gentleman who was our first risk manager.
Linville?
No, Jack, I think Jack followed him.
Oh, okay.
Who was that, mate?
The earliest one I remember is Tony Southern.
That's it, Tony Southern.
Oh. But
Now,
Linville
he
was
did
before.
come after, was Jack
Yeah.
the first, or did?
Jack would have
Jack
been
was the
before
first?
He
him.
was
Okay, I
before.
thought it was
Yeah.
the other way, okay. Okay,
Thank you.
all right. Claims, took care of
This
that.
one is the only one. we had.
Highway Department claim,
That was it. That's
Okay.
when we approved.
all right. Motion to adjourn,
So move.
second, favor, aye. Okay.
Let me turn these back into you,
Yeah, yeah. Oh.
You know, I think you're all right about
Yeah.
Jack. I know you're